shouldn't the splash of water be located in front of the opening? Instead, we see that the water splash is located on the side of the container. Are we to believe that these two pelicans exited the container through a solid side wall? Understand that the pelicans were edited into the shot so as to tell a fabricated story. If this man actually released these pelicans into the wild, then wouldn't his head be turned towards the fleeing pelicans? Instead, what we see is the man looking directly into the camera. I want to ask you an important question. Of everything that is being shown in this picture, what is the most important? The answer should be the two pelicans. So if we are looking at a real photo in which the two pelicans are the focal point, then why is this video cameraman not focused on the two fleeing pelicans? The man standing here is watching the video camera operator. The video camera operator is filming this man and woman. But there are some very interesting things to note here. As I asked before, why is the video cameraman not focusing on the most important thing that is taking place in this shot, namely the fleeing pelicans? Maybe it's because there is something else taking place here on a subliminal level. Look at the man in the green shirt. Notice he has his right hand outstretched. Ask yourself, where is this man's hand located relative to the woman's body? The answer to this question should explain why the video camera operator is not focusing on the pelicans. It should also explain why this man is grabbing on his crotch area. Picture number 17. This picture is a fake. I took it myself. Notice how the picture is cropped in so close that the viewer has no idea that the geese were swimming in a plastic pool. Picture number 18. One of the interesting things that I have noticed about the pictures of cleanup crews is that there is rarely any evidence to suggest that the cleanup crews are actually cleaning up oil. Many of the pictures that I have seen on the internet show the workers milling around. Looking at this picture, is there anything to suggest that there was an oil spill here? Is there any evidence within the picture that would suggest that the cleanup crew is actively cleaning up oil? The answer to both questions is no. Picture number 19. This picture is an obvious fake. The shovel appears to be digging out oil that has contaminated marshland. But notice that the shovel has not dug into the ground at all, and yet there is supposed oil streaming down the shovel itself. This picture is also cropped in close, but the oil does look convincing, does it not? That oil-looking substance is nothing more than Hershey's chocolate syrup. Picture number 20. Another closely cropped picture. The oil looks real enough, but in actuality, I took this picture myself. Picture number 21. Here is another closely cropped picture of an oil-drenched glove. We see a lot of these types of pictures on the internet, do we not? What is interesting about this particular picture is that the background is part of another picture. You see, the glove has been edited into the background image. One of the ways that you can easily tell is by looking at these white patches on the lower part of the glove. These white patches are the result of poor editing by the manipulators of this image. If you look carefully, you will see that the glove itself almost has a cartoonish texture to it. Again, this is the result of poor editing. Keep in mind that this picture was officially distributed via media. It also happens to be a fake. Picture number 22. Another closely cropped picture. This picture shows oil-drenched hands. This picture does not show location. depth of field, or any conclusive evidence that the oil seen here was taken from a Gulf beach, marshland, or ocean. Picture number 23. Another closely cropped picture. This time, someone dips their hands into what appears to be oil. Again, no confirmation of location, no depth of field, no conclusive evidence that the oil seen here was taken from a Gulf Coast beach or marshland. Picture number 24. The most significant dynamic that we can observe in this picture is not the supposed oil. The most significant dynamic happens to be the hands themselves. Notice how the hands are extremely pale. The hands themselves look sickly, almost as if they are attached to a zombie or a rotting corpse. These hands were prepared to look like this prior to the picture being taken, so as to subliminally transmit a message of death and destruction. In essence, this picture is staged. Picture number 25. This picture was taken on a main road in Southern California. Therefore, it's a fake. But understand that if this picture was placed within a group of media-sourced pictures, people would be easily led to believe that this fire truck was en route to an oil-contaminated beach or en route to an oil spill-related accident. Picture number 26 and 27. Picture number 26 and number 27 are obviously connected. Picture number 26 was taken on June 9th, 2010. The caption for this picture reads, and I quote, "Commercial fisherwoman Diane Wilson of Seadrift, Texas, pours a jar of syrup made to look like oil over herself as a U.S. Capitol Police officer drags her from a Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee hearing about the BP Deepwater Horizon oil spill June 9th, 2010 in Washington, D.C. Question: are we to believe that a commercial fisherwoman named Diane Wilson travels from Seadrift, Texas, all the way to Washington, D.C. to pour a jar of syrup on herself? I guess it is possible, albeit ridiculous. Question: does this U.S. Capitol Police officer look concerned at all? You have a woman pouring some unidentified, potentially hazardous, gooey substance on herself, and this U.S. Capitol Police officer shows no sign of deep concern? Interesting that we have to take our shoes off for inspection in order to get on an airplane, but a woman can walk into a Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee hearing with a jar of unknown substance, dramatically pouring the unknown substance all over her body, and the U.S. Capitol Police officer shows no sign of deep concern. Tell me something. If this happened today and you were in attendance and you saw this woman pouring a jar of syrup on herself, would you remember her face a week later? For most of us, we would answer yes. From the woman's long black hair, her sleepy left eye, her large breasts, her robust body type, we would all remember her standing up in the middle of a Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee hearing and pouring dark syrup all over herself. We would remember her indeed. And wouldn't it be standard security protocol for the U.S. Capitol Police to ensure that all officers assigned to such hearings be made aware as to the identity of Diane Wilson? Well, on June 17th, 8 days after Diane Wilson poured a jar of syrup on herself, she's back on Capitol Hill, this time smearing black ink on her hands and face.